What's up, Fragrant World? Welcome back to another Stay Fresh production. My name is Justin Copeland. On this channel, Stay Fresh Productions, we talk about everything fragrance related. Any interest in that kind of content, you're in the right place. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Join the Fresh Squad today. Improve, elevate, enhance your freshness. Simple as clicking that button. You will feel it. Others will smell it.
And you'll smell it too.
Speaking of elevating, we're talking about fragrances to elevate your presence in the room. These are bold fragrances. These are fragrances that are not for everyone. These are fragrances that are for people who are looking to make an impression upon others, who are looking to be memorable with their fragrance, but are not necessarily looking for quick and cheap thrills, meaning they're not looking just to get compliments. Not to say these fragrances can't get you compliments, but they might not. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to have an effect on those around you, and they're not going to imprint on people. Because as long as you bring kindness and confidence to any scenario, and you smell like this and you look the part, you're going to be unforgettable. Guaranteed, these fragrances will supplement that. So if you're looking just for compliments, these fragrances may not be for you. But if you're looking to step outside of the box, to be a little bit more unique, be a little bit more individualistic, and to be more provocative and memorable, then keep watching. So we have 5 fragrances here. They are in order, basically from what I would deem most wearable to least wearable. That might sound kind of strange. I think they're all wearable. I think they're all beautiful. But essentially what that means is that they're ranked from least bold to most bold. Number 1 is going to be very much out there. Not going to be the best fragrance on this list because there is no best and worst in this video here. This is just in my taste and my experience with these fragrances, the ones that are going to be fairly easy to wear. You don't have to think about it much, but they're still kind of out there. And then obviously as we move through the list, they're going to get a little bit more challenging. So let's dive right into it. First one up here, I've been meaning to get this in my collection for years and years. I finally went ahead and picked up a bottle pretty recently, and it smells just as good as I remember when I had a decant years ago, if not better. From the house of Creed, we have Royal Oud. This is a must-have. This is unlike anything else that they've really put out. It is simply stunning. This is a dry, spicy cedar wood. Not getting much oud here, so don't be fooled by the name or put off by the name. Lots of cedar wood, lots of pink pepper, a little bit of freshness from some citrus, maybe a little bit of angelica adds a touch of this herbal nature in there, but it is so elegant. Definitely off the beaten path for Creed. This is another direction. Honestly, one of the best fragrances they've put out. It's this and Viking, which are really kind of up there for me, probably my top 2, but this one might be edging it out because of how different it is. If you want to make a statement, but something that's a little bit easier to wear, then check out Creed Royal Oud. Stunning fragrance. All right, up next here, from the house of Tom Ford, one that I again sampled years ago. I didn't really love it at the time, but I appreciated it, and I knew with time I would come around to it. I picked it up years later and I was right. I absolutely love this stuff. This is called Oud Minérale. This came out, I think, 2017. It was discontinued. They've recently brought it back in this kind of like frosted matte bottle, and it's a little cheaper than it used to be. And I think you can pretty much only get it at Ulta, if I'm not mistaken. This stuff is such a transportive fragrance. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you definitely should. This is my handle, and it's also linked down below in the description. Follow me on Instagram. I actually just did a write-up on this fragrance that I'm really, really proud of. Kind of just trying to share the imagery that this evokes for me. This is like being out on the ocean. It's about to storm. It's kind of murky and dark black clouds. There's driftwood in the water. You smell the saltiness in the air from the water. It's a little spicy. It's smoky. It's dry and wet at the same time. Not an easy fragrance to wear, but very mysterious, and again, something that is going to turn heads and have people remembering you. I think it's an amazing, unique fragrance. If you're looking for kind of a different take on an aquatic, marine-like fragrance with woods, check it out. All right, quite a polarizing scent. Not everyone's gonna love this. Again, we're getting a little bit more challenging as we go on. I am captured by it. I can't explain it. Something about it really gets to me, and I love Incident Diplomatique from Javoy. I've talked about this one time and time again. This is something you gotta dress up. In fact, most of these I would say you gotta dress up if you really want them to perform their best for you.
Oh my gosh.
This is earthy vetiver, but there's a fresh, kind of almost wet, boozy quality to it, which again, I always say mandarin orange I think is playing a role there. It doesn't come off orangey, so to speak, at least not quite as sweet and juicy, but there is a juiciness in there. Mixed with some spicy nutmeg, which is a soft spice, lots of patchouli and vetiver. It's a little bit earthy, slightly medicinal and leathery in the background, maybe even a little bit smoky. It kind of smells like people have been smoking in the area that you were just in and they're not there anymore. But in a maybe like a lounge in a way, because again, I get a boozy aspect. I don't know what it is. I love this stuff. It's something, again, you got to dress it up at night to the nines and wear it with confidence and be kind to people. Once again, this is going to really go far for you. I highly recommend Incident Diplomatique from Javoy. At least sample it. Not cheap stuff, but sample it if you can. Coming from the House of Amouage, one I've talked about recently, one that has really swept me off my feet when I first smelled it a few weeks back, thanks to Corbin. And then I had to pick up a bottle for myself because I love this stuff. This is called Overture. This is the men's version. Is that upside down? Yes, it is. This is Overture Man. I am obsessed with this fragrance. I wish I could wear it now, but it's way too hot. So once we get to the fall and winter, I'll be busting this out for the evenings. Man, this is, you gotta be ready for this, otherwise it's gonna wear you. This is animalic leather, but cognac, a sweet, kind of juicy cognac note. It's a wet, boozy note in here for sure. Resins, spices, again, that leather is pretty animalic and dirty. Oh, but there's a nice sweetness in there that kind of offsets the dirtiness. It's a little skanky, but it's very, very elegant. There's a sharp bite in here. I don't remember what that's from. A little bit astringent, but it goes very well. But it's a fresh, kind of bright, astringent nature. It's really beautiful stuff. Again, not for the faint of heart. You gotta wear this with confidence. You gotta be kind to people. You gotta smile. You gotta look people in the eyes, shake their hand. This is gonna help you out a lot, especially if you're wearing all black, like a tuxedo event or something like that. Stunning. Can't get enough of this stuff. Can't wait to wear it more. Okay, this is our #1 spot, but again, not saying this is the best one on the list. They're all wonderful, they're all different. This is probably not the most luxurious or elegant of all the fragrances I've talked about, but I would say it's probably the most challenging. It's very brash, it's a little bit medicinal, it's kind of harsh, but I do think that if you pull this off right, there's something about it that pulls people in, but you gotta be ready for it. From the House of Gucci, we have Gucci Guilty Absolute Pour Homme. This is cypress, leather, vetiver, maybe some patchouli. I love this stuff. This is dry, spicy leather, a little bit green in a way. It's also, again, quite medicinal. So you gotta like a medicinal fragrance up top, at least for a little while. Again, dirty, dry, leathery, earthy. I wouldn't even wear this shirt with this fragrance. I feel like I'd have to dress up even more, put a tie on, darker colors. That's really gonna help this out. Ladies, I'm not even gonna lie to you and say this is unisex, but you know how I feel about gender and perfumes. Doesn't exist. We're talking about a scent here. We're talking about a collection of scents. If you are looking to be more bold, you could wear this. Again, doesn't smell anything unisex or feminine at all. They have a feminine version of this that's actually really nice, but nothing like this. This applies to anything. You could wear whatever you want. And if you're kind of worried about the profile not suiting your gender or how you convey yourself to people, a small little trick you could do, this goes for men and women. For women, if you wore something like this, the more feminine you dress, the more this works for you because you kind of offset the scale. This is, I guess, what most people would consider very masculine. So if you up your femininity in terms of how you're dressing, maybe, you know, your makeup or your jewelry or your dress, whatever it may be, I think it can balance out. But again, now you got to bring the energy to match it. You got to be confident. Same thing goes for men, not with this fragrance, of course, but if I was talking about something very floral or sweet or anything like that, the more masculine you dress, again, especially if you're going to a special event, the more you dress up, the better your clothes look on you. You can pull off anything. It just works. So that's just a little trick you can use moving forward. That is Gucci Guilty Absolute Pour Homme. All right, so that is our list. These are all gonna be a bold pick. They're all gonna be very memorable. They're all gonna have people wanting to know more about you and wanting to get closer to you, even if they don't tell you you smell good. Again, compliments, overrated. When they happen, that's great. But even if they don't happen, that doesn't mean you can't have an effect on people. If you liked the video, please like the video. Really appreciate it and it helps me out so much. I would love to know, have you tried any of these fragrances? What are your thoughts on these? Do you agree that these are quite bold? And please join the Fresh Squad if you haven't already. Again, you made it this far, click that subscribe button. It's totally free, it costs you absolutely nothing. You can always change your mind later for whatever reason. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.